You know, there's this fundamental conflict deep inside all of us. It's this constant battle between how we see ourselves and the final, unavoidable reality that we all have to face. Let's call it the battle between the mirror and the throne.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. The mirror, well, that reflects what we want to see, doesn't it? Our wins, our image, the good person we believe we are. But the throne? The throne is different. It represents an absolute truth, a final judgment, where how we see ourselves suddenly doesn't matter at all. So let's talk about that future reality first, that unavoidable throne. Because a day is coming for every single one of us. A day when all the titles we hold, all the labels we wear, they just fade away. And we will stand, totally exposed, before the King. Just try to picture it. A moment that is the ultimate equalizer. I mean, our status, our career, that spiritual resume we've been building our whole lives, poof. All of it becomes meaningless. The performance is officially over, and there's no more applause.
And in that moment, all the spin just stops. There's no platform to stand on, no one left to impress. Every single justification we've built, every story we've told ourselves to feel a little bit better about our choices, it all just dissolves into thin air, because absolutely nothing is hidden from his sight.
And make no mistake, this accountability isn't some kind of group project. The scripture is crystal clear. Each of us. It's intensely personal. There are no exceptions, no hall passes. You, and you alone, will give an account for your life.
So, this brings us to the really crucial question. How does our pride, the very thing we spend our lives protecting, actually hold up in front of the ultimate judge? Well, a powerful parable gives us the answer.
What's so fascinating here is the absolute contrast. You have two men who go to pray, but they represent two completely different postures before God. One guy shows up with his resume in hand, totally confident in all his good works. The other? He comes with empty hands, trusting in one thing and one thing only, God's mercy.
Just listen to this prayer. I mean, is he really praying to God? Or is it more like a speech about himself for God's benefit? He measures how good he is by comparing himself to others. His prayer is basically a list of what he does right and who he's better than. It's the very definition of self-righteousness.
And look, what an impressive resume it is. We're not talking about small stuff here. These are major spiritual achievements. Prophesying, performing miracles, tithing, fasting. I mean, this is the list of someone who, on the outside, looks like they have it all figured out. This is the evidence that pride presents to the court.
And then, the verdict, the most chilling words you could ever imagine. After a lifetime of religious performance, of mighty works done in God's name, the judge looks at him and says, "I never knew you." Why? Because all that work, it wasn't for God. It was for the mirror. It was a performance for himself, not a relationship with him.
So if the resume of pride leads straight to rejection, what's the alternative? Well, the answer's right there in the other man, the one who showed up with nothing but his own need. Wow, just look at the difference. No comparisons, no list of achievements, just 7 simple words. This isn't a speech, it's a desperate cry for help. It's a total admission of guilt and a complete reliance on something outside of himself, on mercy.
And here's the twist that turns everything upside down. It's the humble man, the one who admitted he was a sinner, who is made right with God. Not the religious superstar, not the pillar of the community, but the broken man who knew he had absolutely nothing to offer.
And that's the whole point, isn't it? God isn't looking for our perfection, he's looking for our surrender. Saving humility isn't about being flawless. It's about knowing that you're not flawless and throwing yourself completely on his grace.
So this brings this whole truth right into our lives. Today, that final day of judgment doesn't have to be some terrifying surprise. We can actually prepare for it right now. We can choose to stop living for the mirror and start living for the throne.
So how do we do that? Well, first, we have to see our own pride for what it is, that subtle, constant pull towards self-reliance. Second, just like the tax collector, we have to admit our need, our true position as sinners. And third, we make a conscious choice to cling only to Christ, trusting entirely in His mercy, not our own spiritual accomplishments.
And in the end, it really all comes down to this single, profound question. When all is said and done, when you finally look at the throne instead of the mirror, what's going to be in your hands? The list of everything you've done, or the gift of His mercy?